Hello out there, and welcome back to another episode of interesting stuff, the homeschool educational supplement, where we look at different aspects of the world as it is and as it was, and we do a little bit of study together. And today we will be looking at our universe. So where do we begin? Because it's big, right? So maybe we begin with just the Big Bang, or when it all began or took place, which scientists theorize was around 13.7 billion years ago. Quite how they got that exact, I'm not sure, but I guess we have to run with it. So, because of its name, most people imagine, as we have done, that the Big Bang was an immense almighty explosion. However, it wasn't. Instead, it was a rapid expansion of matter, energy, and gases. The model of the Big Bang theory is built on the premise that the universe still appears to be expanding today, and it is from this expansion that scientists have been able to calculate, give or take a few million years, which is quite a lot, when life in the universe all began. Now, many people forget that the Big Bang is still only a theory, but currently it is by far the best and most popular and widely supported theory that we have. There is, however, observable evidence which so far supports several other theories, including, of course, that perhaps it was created by one or more gods. And something to think about? Well, Sir Fred Hoyle is commonly accepted as the person who coined the phrase, the Big Bang, back in 1949. Now, this must have been a source of irritation to him, as he was a strong opponent of the theory. Instead, Hoyle was an advocate of the steady-state theory and only came up with the Big Bang tag to give a name to the theory that he disagreed with. So bad luck, mate. It just stuck around. Now, because the beginning was so long ago, so way back in time, it's really hard for us to know exactly how things started. And in the past, we left this to religion to solve. And so here we can have a little look at how the universe was created according to the world's 6 leading religions. Now, almost every religion has written in its scriptures a theory of how we all got here. The unifying element is the presence within these doctrines of a superior being, sometimes called the Creator. Since science has provided at least some proof of the Big Bang, as well as other explanations of our existence and evolution, you would think that we would accept it without defeat. However, faith is still one of the world's most powerful forces. So be it the Bible, the Quran, or the Torah, there are arguments within their pages that allow the believer to question science. And as there's not enough room for the entire texts in this little presentation, let's have a little look at some powerful opening lines. In terms of Hinduism, which has 900 million followers, it begins, "When the Brahman is born, the first sound he makes is Om, and from this creation comes." If we look at Sikhism, which has 26 million followers, they begin, "One universal creator God. The name is truth, creative being personified, no fear, no hatred, image of the undying, beyond birth, self-existent." If we skip to Islam, which has 1.15 billion followers, it is He who created for you all of that which is on earth. Then He directed Himself to the heaven, His being above all creation, and made them 7 heavens, and He is knowing of all things. Then there's Judaism, which has 16 million followers. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void. God said, "Let there be light." And then there's Buddhism, which has 500 million followers. And the followers of Buddhism, the Buddhists, believe in the theory of evolution and have no theory regarding the original creation. And finally, of course, we have Christianity, 2.4 billion followers. And it starts with, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void. And God said, let there be light. Now, these are not all of the religions. In fact, if you're a fan of science fiction and you're aware of the film series of Star Wars, you might be aware of the Jedi religion, which is based on the beliefs of the Jedi Knights in the film series. Well, in Britain, this religion now has over 400,000 followers, with numbers in the future predicted to rise massively, which perhaps just goes to show that you can make anybody believe almost anything. Anyway, it was an officially recognized religion as of 2001 in Great Britain. But back to our theme, which is our world, our place, our space, our universe. And let's take a little dive into some of the science. Well, if we take up the whole universe, according to science, 4.6% is made up of atoms, 23% is made up of dark matter, and a whopping 72% is made up of dark energy. So there's a lot of dark stuff in there, and the dark doesn't mean that it's all black, it just means that we still quite don't understand it. But at least we do have some information about the composition of our universe. Now, the principle of the conservation of energy that we use states that matter can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed. The essence of this implies that everything that is currently in the universe has always been here and will always be here. The problem is that since the Big Bang, we know that the universe has been expanding. This has meant that the amount of dark matter as a percentage of the whole has increased and is still increasing. Atoms that, for example, form planets and stars make up just 4.6%, as I stated, of the universe. Dark matter and dark energy make up the rest. The dark matter is basically stuff that we can't see but which has mass. It is not really understood, but even less is known about the dark energy. Maybe that's the dark side from Star Wars. Who knows? No one is really sure what dark energy is, even though it accounts for nearly 3/4 of the universe. NASA has even set up a mission, the Joint Dark Energy Mission, to try to work it all out. And of course, as I've stated, our knowledge of the universe is minimal, mainly because we just don't have the capacity to travel or even see far enough to work things out. So research into what is beyond the universe or what came before it is really only carried out by philosophers because it's so far beyond the realms of our current scientific ability. What we do know is that out there are galaxies. Now, a galaxy is a collection of stars, interstellar matter, dust, gas, and dark matter held together as a distant entity by a gravitational force. The number of stars in a galaxy can vary from a few million up to many million. Earth is in a solar system that forms part of a galaxy called the Milky Way. In the known universe, there are estimated to be at least 100 billion galaxies, but it is impossible to calculate the exact number. With advances in telescopes, it has been possible to see galaxies many millions of light years away. Some of these galaxies have been named, such as Hoag's Object, a ring-shaped galaxy some 600 million light years away. Now, luckily for us, deep space was opened up with the launch of the Hubble Space Telescope back in 1990. The giant telescope orbits Earth every 97 minutes and beams images to several scientific instruments thanks to its huge reflector. And the telescope itself works not by magnifying things, but by collecting more light than the eye can. Hubble's advantage over Earth-bound scopes is that it is positioned above the Earth's atmosphere, which distorts and filters out much of the light. And talking about light, we can't look at space without mentioning the sun, which gives us all of our light and our heat and our energy. And so the Earth sits in one of an infinite number of solar systems within the universe. And at the center of all solar systems, there's a star, and we call ours the sun. The sun is made up entirely of gas, most of which is sensitive to magnetism and is called plasma. The two main chemical elements that make up the sun are hydrogen, 72% of its mass, and helium, 26%. The energy of the sun is created by nuclear fusion within its core. This is when two nuclei combine to form a single nucleus. The fusion converts nuclear matter into energy. The temperature of the surface of the sun is 5,500 degrees C. And at its core, it's over 15 million degrees Kelvin. The sun contains most of the solar system's mass, 99.8%, and it is 330,000 times the mass of the Earth, which in terms of relative difference is equivalent to that between a tennis ball and 4 elephants. So in terms of size, the sun is 109 times bigger than the Earth. And a little factoid, well, the sun's light takes just over 8 minutes to reach the Earth. Therefore, the light that illuminates your kitchen as you pour your morning cup of coffee actually comes from a point in time before you even switched on the kettle. And we can't look at our universe without exploring a bit more of our solar system. And so, of course, from the sun out, we have the planets. We've got Mercury, Venus, Earth, also known as the third rock from the sun. Then we've got Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Of course, each planet getting colder the further away you get from the sun. And on our planet, Earth, a year is 365 days, or 365 and a quarter to be precise, which is how long it takes to travel one complete orbit around the sun. And of course, our days we divide into 24 hours, which is the amount of time it takes to complete one rotation of the Earth around its own axis. So a day is one spin and a year is one orbit. And the further away a planet is from the sun, the longer the orbit naturally will take. Hence, the longer a year will last. And so to put this in perspective, one orbit of Pluto around the sun is equivalent to about 250 Earth years. Wow. And if you want to ponder something a little bit more crazy, think about this. Venus, which sits between Earth and Mercury, takes almost 225 days to orbit the sun. But it takes over 243 days to make one complete spin. Well, what does that mean? Well, in simple terms, a day on Venus is longer than a year. And so that's it for a brief look at our universe. We could dive into, is there life on other planets? But perhaps that's a topic for a different day. I hope you found something useful or something interesting, or at least something new in this presentation. And if you'd like a different topic in the future, well, let me know and I'll try to do a little bit of research for you. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, as always, wish you a fantastic day. And there'll be another audio and video posted soon. And don't forget, under the video, there's always a few comprehension questions to check your understanding. So that's it for today. Have a good one. Speak to you soon. Take care.